Welcome back to the morning show. I'm Tony Glover with the County Extension Office here at the Coleman County Fair. We have something kind of unusual for you to see today. An 885-pound state record pumpkin grown by Trent Boyd and his family. Trent, you got part of your family here. Give us a little introduction of who you've got with you.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm going to mention my wife anyway. She's not here, Jennifer, and I have two other children, Callan and Elsie. These, my oldest, is Dawson Boyd, Blakely Boyd, Bennett Boyd, and Rhett Boyd.
All right, that's a bunch of Boyds. That's a good-looking crew. I know they've worked hard growing this pumpkin. I want you to tell us a little bit about what possessed you to grow a pumpkin of this magnitude, this size, and a little process involved in growing it.
Well, two things. One is just a childhood, even watching Charlie Brown growing up, I wanted to grow a pumpkin, a really big pumpkin. I tried all when I was a kid, and I tried the last few years, but I never could get anything over 100 pounds, right at 100 pounds. The other thing was Arnold Kaler, which works for Auburn, and Mr. Glover here said that there couldn't be a pumpkin grown this big in Alabama. So we worked through it, and Tony helped me, and Arnold helped me, and there it is.
There it is. Well, it's a little bit embarrassing if you're the county agent and you tell someone that they can't do something because you know they're immediately going to go out and try to prove you wrong. But I've never been proved this wrong this fast. This pumpkin weighs over 350 pounds more than the previous state record. So it's not just a couple of pounds over, it's a huge pumpkin. I want you to tell a little bit about the process of growing one. I know you didn't just decide, I'm just going to go out and plant a pumpkin and see if it'll grow to be 900 pounds. What was the process involved?
Like I said, last year, I had a 101-pound pumpkin. So I did a lot of reading. There's a lot of books you can read on it. And I developed some friendships with some guys in Kentucky, the Van Hooks. And I got sent some seeds from up there. But one of the main things is good seeds, good genetics in the seeds. These seeds have been developed the last 40, 50 years to produce pumpkins this big. The other thing is the soil. You got to have good soil. So what we do is we start in the fall adding tons and tons of manure. We use rabbit manure and cow manure. Add a lot of extra potassium, calcium, magnesium, and your micronutrients like boron and magnesium and manganese. To get those up, plant a good cover crop, like Tony always tells you to do, plant a good cover crop of rye, and we use clover that we'll till in the spring. And then what we do is get another soil test. Now, we just didn't send a soil test somewhere local. We sent it off to a lab that specializes in giant pumpkins. And they'll tell you, with your soil type, exactly what nutrients you need to add in the spring to produce a pumpkin this size.
Okay. Well, when you plant it in the spring, I'm sure a pumpkin starts growing that's this large. It's got a lot of vine out there.
Right.
How do you make sure it's got plenty of water?
Well, what you want to do, like on these vines, these things use a lot of water, and you want to have the nutrient intake as much as you can. So what you do is you produce a main vine, at least about 25 feet long. Off that main vine, about every 2 feet, you're going to have what is called a secondary vine. You want to let those get about 12 to 14 feet. And keep any third growth, what's called tertiary growth, off of them. So you have maximum nutrient uptake, maximum water uptake. Now these plants will take anywhere from 60 to 100 gallons of water per plant per day.
Now tell me, when it was growing at its fastest rate, how fast was it growing?
This pumpkin here was growing around 35 pounds a day at the maximum. Now I had another pumpkin that weighed 1,057 until a little rat chewed a hole in it, and it was gaining about 40 a day.
Okay, so you've got almost a 900-pounder. I want to ask Dawson a question. Dawson, are we going to go for a 1,000-pound pumpkin next year?
Hope so.
Think you can do it?
I hope so.
All right, I think they can do it. All right, that's it. Thank you, Trent Boyd. We appreciate it, and this is sure a spectacular pumpkin. Send it back to you guys in the studio.